Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Lauren. I figured today it is June 1st and it is time for a little update on my weight loss journey and my health journey. I relaunched into this journey on January 1st, 2024, with my focus being on 5 pillars of health: my nutrition, fitness, sleep, stress management, and mindfulness. We've made some big strides on some things. We haven't made as many strides on others. And I've actually made some really big changes specifically to my nutrition and exercise pillars in the last month. Nutrition and fitness have been my main priorities of the pillars the last few months because my biggest health goal is truly some weight loss and getting myself to a healthier place physically. In January, I started back being dedicated on the WW Weight Watchers plan. I tried out using a rebounder for the first time. I got back into walking daily, and I really tried being consistent on those things for the first few months of 2024. But by mid-April, I still wasn't seeing very good results. I would lose a few pounds and then gain them back, losing and regaining the exact same weight over and over again. I have had success with WW in the past. I still stand by that as a program for people who are just starting out trying to lose weight, trying to find something that's simple and an app that holds their hand and walks them through the beginning process of trying to make big changes to their diets and lifestyle. I myself lost 80 pounds in 2 years on the plan before having my second child. But for some reason for me, I don't know if it's changes that were in the program from the last time I was really on it, or just how points are being calculated. Personally for me, I was getting 45 points a day on the WW plan. I just haven't been seeing results. So we have to know when it's time for a change. You can't do the same thing over and over again with no results and just keep doing it the same. Sometimes we need to make big changes to make big strides. So something I have done before and that I'm comfortable with is counting calories. I've usually done it alongside of WW just to compare like how many calories a day was the 44, 45 points a day I was eating. But I haven't truly just focused on a calorie deficit along with tracking protein. That's something new for me in the last few weeks. This is what I have settled on. I'm taking a break from WW and I'm just focusing on being in a calorie deficit, counting my calories and getting enough protein in every single day. I could have just lowered my points and made sure I was only eating 36 points a day on WW. But then what's the point of using that app if I'm not following the guidance it's giving me? And I've told you guys this before, but I am not sponsored by Weight Watchers WW, never have been. They don't pay me to do the program and share videos. I pay for the program myself and always have every single month. So I got to the point where I'm like, I've been on WW now, like with the exception of the time I was pregnant, which I was still using the app to kind of track and keep aware of what I was eating and nutrition during my second pregnancy using the app. So I've had the app for the last 4 years, paying around $20 a month. That's $240 a year for 4 years. And I still have not met my health and weight loss goals. So the fact that I have felt pretty stagnant since re-beginning the program in January, the fact that I've been paying every single month for 4 years, that's a lot of money towards a program that just hasn't been working for me right now. We just gotta mix it up. We gotta try something new. So for those of you asking, can I still keep posting WW points along with calories for the recipes I'm sharing? Unfortunately, I no longer have the program. I canceled it, so I can't look up the points for it anymore. I can give you rough estimates, I guess, if you ask, but you can always just enter in. I always give all the ingredients and amounts for the recipes I share, so you can enter it into a recipe into your own app and calculate that out. But yes, I've canceled the WW program for now. I am using the MyFitness app, which is a free app. I did not do the paid for upgraded version yet. Everything that I'm using right now, which is tracking my calories every day and my protein, all of that is available in the free version. In addition to using MyFitnessPal for tracking, to get started on my calorie deficit and counting protein, I had to figure out what my personal goals were going to be. For that, I found a calorie deficit calculator online. I will link the one that I used in the description box below. But similar to when I started WW and I had to fill out my profile with my gender, my height, my weight, my activity level, and my goal for how much or how quickly I want to lose, that's what you enter in the calorie deficit calculator, and it's going to figure out how many calories your body is probably using just to function daily, And then based on your goals, which I personally selected that I wanted a bigger deficit to lose more faster. So for a goal of maybe losing 2 pounds a week, it gave me the number of calories I should be aiming for daily. For me personally, the calorie deficit it wanted me at was 2,050 calories a day. It also broke it down and told me of those 2,050 calories, what percentage I should be aiming for carbohydrates, fats, and proteins. And that proteins number gave me a goal of eating 154 grams of protein a day. That's a lot of protein. Previously on WW, I had started looking at protein also, and my goal was to reach 100 grams of protein a day, which now looking at that calculator was way too little for my goals, but it is hard. It was hard for me to reach 100 grams of protein when I hadn't been tracking it at all then. So it has been difficult making that huge switch to eating that much protein a day. I feel like I'm eating a lot more during the day and more frequently. That being said, I don't feel hungry. I feel very satisfied when I've met my protein goals. I've definitely needed to start pushing my boundaries and try to get creative about what kinds of things I can be eating that have more protein in them, because I'm someone, I can't just sit down and eat like a whole bowl of shredded chicken and call it a day for a snack. Like, right, I gotta have something that is still a recipe that still tastes good, that I'm gonna be excited to make. I'm a cook. You guys know that if you've been following along with my story. I love cooking. I love to bake. I love to eat. That's, you know, how I got this way. And I love to cook for others. So I've definitely had to get a little bit creative and do research and searching on TikTok and Pinterest and blogs for new recipes to try or substitutes that I can make where I can sneak more protein into my day than I have been, but still eat kind of similar to the things that I already enjoy, so I don't get bored of it or sick of it or want to table it, and I keep motivated to keep going. So one of the biggest things that has helped me get my protein in every day is really loading up on protein first thing in the morning. I'm starting with a good protein-filled breakfast, a food-based breakfast, but I'm also trying to keep things simple. It is summer break. Both my girls are at home with me all day, so I don't have time to be really cooking Michelin star restaurant quality breakfasts every morning, but sticking with something like scrambled eggs with some cheddar cheese, chicken breakfast sausage, and some grapes have given me a really well-rounded breakfast meal that adds up to just under 30 grams of protein for breakfast. I then usually follow that up a couple hours later with a morning snack of a protein shake. So when I said food-based protein first thing in the morning, I'm eating food, then doing a protein shake a little bit later as a snack on the go, because we're busy in the morning. We're off to the playground, we're off to the pool, or to run errands or the library, and I can take that on the go with me to help space out those snacks, meals, and all that protein throughout the day. And then if I've eaten that in the morning, I can do like a nice big salad maybe in the afternoon with some chicken. And for dinners, we're focusing a lot on, you know, meats with a side of veg. That keeps it simple. It helps keep me in my calorie deficit because those are pretty low calorie meals, but you still pack in a good amount of protein. And the kicker has definitely been for Mother's Day. If you guys saw one of my recent videos, I got a Ninja Creami, and we have definitely been putting recipes to the test. Sometimes I've been doing protein ice cream, which I've shared here. It's truly using either protein powder or a protein shake, and you can blend it into an ice cream base that I can eat in the evenings as a dessert, but it's a dessert full of protein. So that's been really good. I've also been making more of a classic frozen yogurt that the whole family can eat. I don't usually give my girls any sort of protein powder or like protein shake based things, but making this Greek yogurt based froyo has been so delicious. We've tried strawberry, we've tried a pistachio, and then the girls have lots of fun deciding what kind of little treat add-ins we can do to mix it up and have something fun. But it spins about 1 pint of ice cream, although it does seem larger than the typical pint you would buy at the grocery store, so I don't know. But basically when we do 1 container of the Creami frozen yogurt, we end up being able to split it between the 4 of us just fine. Everyone gets a little creamy treat. And it's been a lot of family fun coming up with 1 or 2 ideas to do each week in the Creami. It's not an every night treat, but a couple times a week it's really fun. I'm still also focused on my fitness pillar. I've kept up with walking pretty consistently. Now that it's summer, it gets really hot really early here, so we really need to push ourselves to get up, get dressed, and get outside to enjoy the outdoors. before it gets too hot. But depending on which route I'm doing in the neighborhood, whether I'm walking my dog or I'm going with the girls, with Nora in the stroller, Lila usually rides her scooter, we'll walk down to one of our neighborhood parks. We have a couple that we can walk to in our area. And so just depending on the routes I do, I end up with doing about a 40-minute to an hour-long walk each day between being there and back. I do need to get back into using my Rebounder daily. I found not just for, more cardio exercise, but I felt like it was like helping with my core strength and also even my posture, which is terrible. I know, I'm working on it, y'all. But I felt like it was helping with those things when I was consistently using the Rebounder. So that's actually gonna be a goal moving into next month, is to get back on my Rebounder for 15 minutes, like 3 to 4 times a week even, in addition to the daily walking. And then my goal is hopefully in this next month, we're trying to work out schedules and everything with our family, but I want to join a gym again. It has been a few years since pre-COVID, since I've joined a gym, but I think it would not only be good for me to get back into some light weightlifting, maybe some group exercise classes, help to mix it up, find fun and fitness again, but also hopefully I can find one that has a child care center, and then the girls can get out of the house, get some activity in, and I can also, for the mindfulness part of being a stay-at-home mom life, take a little break during the day that's just for me and a breather. They get to play and have fun. I get to get a little bit of a workout in, but also some alone time. I think that'll be good for everybody. So now that I've chatted with you guys about the changes that have been happening, how I've been keeping up with my pillars, my switch from WW to being in a calorie deficit and tracking with protein, what's the proof? Where are the numbers at? So I would say I kind of stopped tracking with WW getting towards like the middle of April. I got kind of overwhelmed. We had Nora's 2nd birthday. We had family come visit us. I ended up traveling to Chicago for a family funeral, then immediately coming back to Mother's Day and the end of the school year and all the activities going on with the kids. My husband wrapping up with the busiest part of his year. So it was just like a lot on my plate. I got distracted from my goals. I stopped tracking, but coming back mid-May, I really tried to refocus and said, okay, I can either let myself let all of these distractions and the busyness of life get in the way, or I can do something to re-engage myself in my journey, take a breath, take a fresh start, and recommit before I get too far off track. So being off track for those couple weeks between mid-April to mid-May, I did gain a little bit of weight. May 13th, the day after Mother's Day, and when I got back in town and all that, I re-weighed in for day 1, my new day 1. We always have a new day 1, but you know what? As long as we just keep going and keep trying and don't just give up, we're gonna make our progress and we're gonna get there. So May 13th was the start of tracking my calories and protein, and I weighed in at 323 pounds. It's now not quite a full month later. It's been just at 3 weeks. Today's June 1st. After 3 weeks of tracking my calories and protein, switching things up, recommitting, I weighed in this morning at 316.8 pounds. I'm very proud of that. That's a 6.2 pound loss in the last 3 weeks. That is a bigger month loss than I have had any other month since January when I kicked off this health plan. And it wasn't even a full month, it was only 3 weeks. So that's an average of a 2 pound loss per week, which was my goal. I feel like tracking protein has really been the biggest difference. I am eating so much more protein. I feel full, I feel satisfied. I'm craving less snackies and like sugary things towards the end of the night because I've been eating enough throughout the day. I will say one thing I want to keep working on now that I've added all this protein to my diet is I really need to up my fiber as well. Protein and fiber really work hand in hand. If you're really increasing your protein, you need to increase your fiber just for your gut health and your system, if you know what I mean. So increasing fiber will definitely help even more. So that's added to my June goals. So in comparing, doing now the calorie deficit to being on Weight Watchers, one of the biggest mind shifts I've had is looking at certain ingredients with different eyes. I feel like for the last 4 years, I am a coffee girl. I have my iced coffee, the remnants of that I've been sipping on as I planned for this video this morning right here. I love my coffee and I don't want to have to give up coffee in the way that I love it. I do drink frothy coffees, which is a protein shake with espresso. That's a lot of times how I drink that protein shake mid-morning for that mid-morning meal. But sometimes I also just like to have a regular coffee. And I'm a sweet coffee girl. I'm not a girl who can just do the black coffee thing. I know it would save on calories, and you know, everyone thinks of coffee creamer being such a terrible thing. But when I started looking at the difference on WW versus tracking the calories of coffee creamer and realized, why am I thinking of this as such a bad food item? I really hate thinking of foods as good food and bad food. It's all just food. Some things fit into your day, some things don't, but you make room for them other days. And I feel like that's a really important lesson that I not only am trying to reteach myself, but also to teach my girls as they grow up in their relationship with food. There are no bad foods. There's just foods that work now and some foods that don't work now, or foods that are maybe occasional foods and don't give us as much energy and nutrition as other foods. I want to keep our mentality around food positive. Again, that's really important to me, especially as a girl mom and a woman who has struggled with my eating since I was a little kid. So going back to this one specific example of coffee creamer, if I were to track 3 tablespoons of regular coffee creamer, I personally just choose not to do a lot of sugar-free or artificial kinds of food if I can avoid them. They tend to really upset my system and my stomach in particular. So even on WW, I was sacrificing points to have regular coffee creamer. I do prefer the Chobani brand just because they do use real cream and real sugar. And honestly, I felt like I could use less of it because the flavor was so nice. But to track 3 tablespoons of coffee creamer on WW was 7 points. Some people only get 23 points a day. Even when I was getting 45 points a day, if you look at that in terms of a percentage, 3 tablespoons of coffee creamer was consuming 15% of the points I was allotted to eat that day. When I looked at it with calories, it was under 100 calories for 3 tablespoons of coffee creamer. It's 90 calories. So if I have a cup of hot coffee, hot black coffee, and I add 3 tablespoons of creamer to it, it's not like I'm having some 400 or 500 calorie fancy coffee. It's just a cup of coffee with 3 tablespoons of creamer. It was only coming out to just around 100 calories. And in comparison, 100 calories to the 2,000 calories that I get a day is only 5% of what I can consume for the day. So for me, a nice coffee that I enjoy being 5% of my day, that's totally worth it. When it turns out to be 15% of my day, that's now taking away from me being able to eat things for lunch or a snack or what I can and can't eat for dinner later when I'm counting WW points. So coffee creamer is just one of those examples. There's a number of foods I've come across that I used to feel guilty eating on WW that now I'm looking at, well, this is just how many calories it is. That fits with the meal. I'm looking at things more meal-based or full day-based instead of individual items. Because something may have a little bit more calories, but I look at in total how much protein I'm getting in that meal, and I don't feel guilty for adding that in, and I'm enjoying the food. So that's been a little bit eye-opening. Otherwise, I have felt pretty satisfied tracking calories on my calorie deficit. It's hard to eat that much protein, but we're working on it. It is, you know, work to do it every single day. But obviously, based on the numbers and my loss in the last 3 weeks, it's worth it. And I don't feel like my journey is totally consuming my everyday. I'm still doing things with my kids. We're getting outside for fun. Yes, I'm kind of thinking about how much I'm walking every day or the fitness I'm getting in, but I'm making it a part of my everyday routine with the kids. So I'm excited to continue for now on my calorie deficit and tracking protein. I'm still gonna be sharing tons of healthy family option meals with you guys. I know I won't have the WW points anymore, but I will always include all of the ingredients and amounts so you guys can calculate those out. If WW is what's working for you and you're continuing on it, that's amazing. Do whatever is working for you at your time and your journey. I hit a hiatus, I needed to change, so here we are. Anyway, I'm gonna wrap up this video for now. Thank you guys for joining me for my update video. Please hit the like button if you enjoyed today's video. Subscribe if you wanna keep following along with this new step in my journey. And until next time, bye.